let's get into it. I don't know what's going on with it. I'll work on it doing this. Maybe I need a new chord or something, right? But bro, it's like the lyrical content of the song, is what you're saying. Like, my tears are too expensive for someone like you, and it made me think of all them bum relationships I had in the past. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Where I didn't
Yeah, man.
realize, that my tears was expensive. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah,
shouldn't be
man.
using my emotions and my tears over somebody that don't mean me no good, man. I felt it like in my soul for real. I felt that. Big up my brother.
Yeah, man. Respect, man, every time. Yeah, and I mean, his experiences really make you write songs like these. You get me? So
Yeah.
trust me, it's from a place where I can relate to.
Right. 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 Right.
Yeah, man.
So in one of the bios I read, it said you started singing at 6. So take us back, because that's like Uncle will tell you. My favorite question is like, okay, what
Yeah.
made you want to sing? You know what I mean, from a young age. So I also realized your first single was a no, not your first single. The first time you won a competition was a gospel competition,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So does that mean you started singing in church? You started singing in church?
Yeah, yeah. And to be honest, like for most Jamaican artists and celebrities, this is where they started.
Right,
Because yeah, with Jamaicans, you can't afford to go to music school.
right.
So for the church now, you have the equipment and you have a mic,
Ah,
it's
yeah,
yeah, it's the first crowd,
right,
to sing to. Yeah, so it's like for me, that was my practice ground.
yeah,
Yeah, so for church now, it was from the Sunday school choir up until the youth choir, and then from the youth choir to school, singing at school, and then from singing at school to when I left school, I sing at funerals and conventions and all of these things. But I knew that I had like a talent with the pen, and I
right,
recognized that around as the age 16, like I had a real talent with it when I had this exam in CXC that I never got a class for.
right.
Yeah, and
Wow.
yeah, and actually I there were students at the in my class at the time that I thought were top students, and when it came on to, you hear me?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, when it came on to the examinations, yeah, I actually got a 1 with distinction in English when it comes on to the story writing aspect of it.
Wow.
Yeah, like I was like the really talented, and I was like, yo, at that point in time, I was like, oh, what could I do, to share of this talent that I have, which is the
Right,
writing. And the only thing it directed to was music, because I had the voice already,
right.
So yeah, so the only thing it directed to was music. And yeah, so it's like from there on then, when I left school, I was like, yo, I don't want to waste time. I want to, start to work towards my dream.
Right.
And that is when I entered the competition. At the time, as a little youth, wanting to be a part of the industry, it's not easy. So I had to try to do something that could, I could let a producer hear me and say, yo, I need to work with that guy. So the only thing I could do at the time, enter the competition, JCDC,
Right. So
because I never had friends.
okay. No, go ahead. Finish your point.
Yeah, so what I was saying, I never had friends that like had a studio link, or I never know a family that owns a studio or anything like this. So what I had to do was to put myself out there, and that was the only way I could at the time.
What song did you sing at that competition? You remember?
Yeah, man, there's a song called "We Need." Yeah, "We Need," and at the time too, it's not the typical gospel song either.
Right.
It was people was like, yo, it's mainstream, and they like that about it, that it could be played in like any arena. You get me? So I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's one of the reasons why I won the competition too.
You think?
Was that your song? Was that your
Yeah, it was
song?
my song. Yeah, I wrote it. Yeah.
Wow,
Okay.
that's amazing. You win with your own song, because a lot of times when people do competitions, they sing a popular song that
Yeah,
everybody know
yeah,
to
yeah.
give them a little extra oomph. You know what I mean? Do you think, like you
Yeah,
said,
man.
being in the church helped you, because church people are real supportive, especially when kids get up there and sing. They don't tear you down. You know what I mean? I don't know how church is nowadays, but back in my day, if a kid, when I got up and sung in church, they made me feel like I was the greatest star. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And that is one of the things that prepared me for the crowd.
Right.
Because church was my first crowd, you know?
Right.
So when I actually entered the competition and I had a big crowd, it was nothing for me. So people was like, yo, he's so confident. Nah. It's basically like church like grew that into me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. But you are confident when you sing, right? You know, and I just thought the confidence
Yeah,
came
man.
from the talent. I'm like, man, this guy know he's talented. He ain't got to worry about nothing, man. Because every time you hold the mic, bro, hadn't heard one bad song yet. And it's a few artists we say that about. You know what I mean?
My respect.
So how did you hook up with what was it Danny Browne?
Yeah, so that's where I
For
was going. Like JCDC is what caused me to meet Danny Browne, you know?
Okay,
Because as I say, I never had no studio link. So I entered the competition when I won it. It was like, yo, I really need to work with this guy.
wow,
So so after winning the competition, I was like, I was working in a studio at the time, and it was the 1 year break from music and everything. And then Danny was like, no, yo, I need to get to this guy. And he said it in his interview that there is no other artist he reached out to. Normally artists reach out to him,
yeah,
so so he wasn't proud at the time because he knew that I could be somebody that can help the world in terms of like
right.
music. Yeah. So he reached out to me, and I'm so thankful, that he did that, because the situation that I was in, I would have never reached out to nobody at all.
Right. What
So
was it? You were in a mental space when you say situation.
mental space, and also like the producer that had me at the time,
Mm.
like he was so close-minded that I shouldn't be listening to this, hearing from this person, that person, even though I'm not a gospel artist,
Right.
because I was never a gospel artist, right?
Right.
But but I mean, everybody was like, yo, you need to stay from that. You don't need to go there, this and that, because you need to maintain this purity. And I was like, no, that it was, I was doing it, but it never felt like me, because I know that experience is what you need in life to write a book or to sing a song or whatever. So me being enclosed in an era, like from Monday to Friday, then going to church, no, it was doing a lot of harm for me than good,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's
when
crazy how people would tell you, right? You got to be true to this or true to that, and all that true to everything else makes you be
except yourself.
untrue to yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then they
yeah,
expect you to be your best.
exactly.
When I first read that you hooked up with Danny Browne, the first thought was, man, but he did a lot of dancehall back in the day. Red Rat, Buju, like one
Yeah,
of the
man, Mr.
biggest
Vegas.
rhythm. Yeah, Mr. Vegas, Sean Paul, one of the
Yeah,
biggest
man.
rhythms to date, still from the '90s. Filthy Rhythm, right? Is one of the most popular. I still
Yeah.
play it to this day. But then I realized, he had made a switch from like kind of like the secular market to the gospel market, so it made sense. It made
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
So are
But right there, so right there,
right,
when we actually met and sit and talk, he was like, bro, to be honest, Jah Lil, me see as a son and everything, but me see like this huge responsibility that you could bear and carry in terms of music. Um, just because of the lyrical content, how you write and how you express yourself, your voice and everything, I do not see as a gospel artist.
yeah,
But they really appreciate that, because at that point in time I wasn't trying to be a gospel artist,
right.
you know. So he was like, I am willing to take the criticism from the church, but I'm willing to support you.
Man, it's crazy, bro.
So
Like church
yeah,
folks are the most critical folks on the face of this earth, right?
yeah,
And
man,
and, and, and,
yeah,
and and some of them like really believe it. And on one hand, you can't be mad at somebody believing, because I'll never be mad at a person for believing what they believe. The only thing I
yeah,
can
yeah,
feel a
yeah,
ways about, it's okay, I don't have to be like you. I grew up in one of the strictest religions in the world. I think Seventh-day Adventist. I always said, Uncle, you
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
heard
yeah.
me say this like a million times.
No,
You
it's
know what I
true, it's
mean?
true, it's true, it's true.
But
Man.
the older I got, it's like, okay, for me, now I'm talking for me, I just need to be a good person, treat people right, do things that enhance liberty in the world and enhance the life of humans. And you know what I mean? Don't do, because you know when something is wrong and you know it's something right. You can feel the energy. You already know it before you
Exactly.
do it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So yeah, let me let Uncle L speak because I always take over the interview, bro. Let me just
I wanted to pick up on something. So obviously you connected with Danny Browne, and and this is kind of on really a question on the music industry kind of side of things. And I'd love to hear your perspective on this as a artist breaking out and thing. You know, it seems more so in really the reggae dancehall community that producers have a really large impact and influence on the music that comes out, the artists that come out, and more so than in other genres. And I've always found it interesting. And maybe you could give your perspective. Why you feel is like that? Why do the producers have so much sway in terms of who gets out and who? Because when you think about it, I mean, we spoke with Sugar,
yeah,
the artist Sugar, a month or so ago, and she was talking about how working with Donovan Jermaine was a big part of her progression. Obviously, Buju came out on Penthouse, and really that elevated him. And every artist, Beanie worked with Shock and Vibes and that kind of thing. So, what do you think is, from your perspective, why do you think producers and who the producers are have such an impact?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it's something that I think last like 2 weeks ago we touched on. Me and Martin was having the conversation, and
Mm,
I use name Teflon Zinc Fence, you know.
mm-hmm.
Um, Producers are like fathers of the industry. You know, it's like they can identify your talent, and what they do, they find the necessary things and they put you in the necessary space so you can grow.
Right.
They identify what is your strength and your weakness. They work on your weakness, they work on your strengths. It's like a father figure in the music industry. You find that when producers are missing, you can actually hear it in the music. Like
Mm-hmm.
the music tend to go on the down spiral. Because as I said, the whole father figure thing. If I know that my child is good in math, like
Mm-hmm.
really good in math, yeah, I'm gonna do everything so I can enhance that.
right,
Right.
So it's not just being an engineer where you go on mic and you record a song and that's it. With a producer, no, I think you could you know do that on the C scale or whatever the case is. Or I think you can you know give a little bit more expression on that word and stuff and things like these because they know the industry well
right,
Mm-hmm.
enough to know what
right.
can work. So I think they are very, very, very important in the process of releasing artists, um, and doing the what they would call it the gatekeeping. You
Right,
know what I
right.
mean? It's not much of keeping, but it is I mean, is talent monitoring is putting what is a complete product out there. So it's very important for a producer to take the space into the music because they're missing now, and they can actually see the impact of them being missing. You get me?
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
That's real. That's real. And thank you for sharing that. And it's so funny. You said something earlier that you and Mortimer were talking and reasoning, because I will literally tell you, like 5 minutes ago before you got on the call, Neil and I were talking and we saying, man, Jalil have to do a tune with Mortimer. That would be a big tune. So we
literally.
call it. Go ahead, Neil. Go ahead,
No, no,
Neil.
no. I was just agreeing. Literally, literally. And then I threw in there. It would be nice to throw Lila Iké in there too. You know what I mean? But it's anyway. Yeah, yeah. Uncle L, go ahead. But we
Yeah. So
literally
I mean,
5 minutes ago.
but I mean, I say all that to say is that I think what we're seeing now, particularly us, going around and talking to a lot of these artists, because we spoke with Mortimer last year, um, spoke with Samurai, and we're starting to see that there's really kind of like a connection, a cross pollination of a new set of artists that come
Yeah,
out, and just kind of building the vibes, and definitely really good to see you being a part of that, because as
definitely,
as
Yeah,
we
man, for
say,
sure.
we listen to your album, kind of man cry, and it's like we're floored, real good.
That's right, man.
One song on there that I really like, and I want you to talk about, like, your thought process and the lyrics behind it. But Weak Men,
yes.
like, what were
Oh
you
yeah, we man.
channeling when you were when you were writing Weak Men? Um, what were you thinking of? Any people in specific that you're thinking are the weak men, and how can we be better? How can we be stronger? You know.
All right, that's a good question. When it came on to writing week, man, I was in the mind frame of like, why isn't the reggae music at the forefront as yet?
Right.
Like what it was before, or it's supposed to
Mm,
be. And I mean, Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, all of them did so much hard work, for us as musicians can enjoy a platform like this, so our voices can be heard,
hmm
in the name of good. And I was like, why on the mainstream media, all I'm seeing is, or not all I'm seeing, but mostly what I see,
Right.
is the negative energy, you know what I mean? And the only thing that came to my mind was the cycle that life goes through, where in which at one point it has to become weak in order to gain strength, and then gain strength so things can be easily accessible again. And then when it's easily accessible, who is easily accessible to, they don't work that much
hmm
for it, so they get it easily, so they become weak, and it's a cycle. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, I even said it in the song, like, um, let me tell you now, hard times create strong men, but strong men create good times, and good times create
Create
weak
weak
men,
men.
and weak men create hard times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, it's that cycle. So I was like, I was a little bit down in the spirit, and I was like, no, man, it's gonna return to the place where, because of what's happening now with the weak men,
hmm
a strong men are gonna need to, rise up again, so good times can come again. That is what I was thinking. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know
Right.
it's a little bit deep, but yeah.
No, man,
That's
it's
what I was
necessary.
thinking.
Hey, look,
That's
bro.
what people need. That's what
That's
people
yeah.
need in these
Yeah.
times, because as you say, we have so many
Yeah,
weak
man.
men, literally running around the place doing all kind of crazy stuff, and people need, we need somebody to lift us up. We need the music to lift us up, and that's what encourages me, because in the dancehall, in the music industry, I should say, there, like I said, yourself, Mortimer, Jesse Royal, Protoje. I mean, all these, the kind of people that I like and I roll with and I listen to. I look out. I add you to that list because we just kind of feeling some real strong vibes in the music. So I like that.
Man,
Yeah, man. But
I was
mhm.
literally having a conversation with a friend of mine, right? And again, I just left the gym, and it was a friend of mine who was feeling kind of down. You know what I mean? Just talking about stuff that happens in the world, her son, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I literally recited that piece of lyrics to her. I said, man, I was just listening to this artist named Jah Lil, look him up. And it's how powerful the music is, right? And your lyrics in this song.
Yeah,
And,
man.
and I literally recited that verse. So I said, check this out. The reason why the world is today. Because we was talking, even with the young TikTokers in Jamaica, all these people done got killed in the recent weeks, right? What we
Yeah.
think is strength nowadays is actually weakness.
Yes.
It's weak to want to take another human life that easily. it's weak to not be able to ignore a statement someone made. You know what I mean? And be like, yo,
Yeah.
man, come on, bro. Right? And I recited those lyrics to her. I said, man, listen to this, because it's something that, I need to write down on a piece of paper and stick it up on mirror, right? That piece of lyrics,
man.
bro, where strong men create good times,
Good
right?
times.
Good times create weak men. You know what I mean?
And weak men create hard times.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
So it's like hard times create strong men, and
Right.
strong men create good times.
Right.
Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. So it's like a cycle.
It's a cycle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And right now it feels like we're in the, like you said, we're in the weak man phase. You know?
Yeah.
Even with the music, the reason why Uncle L said what he said, like if you listen to our show, you will not hear, I ain't gonna call names, because it's not like I'm downing nobody, because everybody got their hustle, right? But certain artists you won't hear on our show. If you listen to the names that we call, you will hear Mortimer, you will hear Lila Iké, you will hear Warrior King, you will hear even Kalen Arnold, who's dope. You know what I mean? You will hear Jah Lil, you will hear Kumar, you will hear Runkus. You know what I mean? Those are the guys that we wrote. Of course, the Jesse Royals and the Chronixx, even though we waiting for a Chronixx album. I don't know, talk to Chronixx, tell him put on some more music, man. You know what I mean? but it's because we want to be in the cycle of creating strong men again. And I think the music of the guys and ladies that I just called could help in that, in taking us down that path. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I think, and this is one of the this is the purpose of reggae and dancehall music, to rebel. Yes.
Right.
And and when we use the term rebel, I think people always think it have a negative connotation. No, it is what you're rebelling against. So if society says, this is a good thing, like even right now in society can look at it like the diet of people, like the workforce is structured.
Right.
It's like everything is designed so men can become weak, and once as men are weak, the family is easily penetrated, infiltrated.
Yeah.
You get me? So that is why right now in society look like how it looks. Like the killing, the crime, the pornography, everything is like everything along that line on the low vibrational scale.
Low vibration.
Is on a high.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on a high. So you're right. It's like right now I see myself having the responsibility as well as a Martimer and a Samurai, to do social commentary aware in which we speak about these things so people can know, so them can make themselves strong, because once as a family is strong, they can infiltrate us.
Right.
And how you get the family strong starts with the men. So we need strong men,
I want to go into albums, but before that, another song I would like you to expound on is Currency called Time, because that's a deep song too, bro. You know what I mean? So what was the thought process behind writing that one?
Yeah. It's simply put, I lost my aunt and my nephew the same day.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like
condolences to your family. Yeah.
Huh?
No, I said my condolences to your family on that.
Yeah, man, respect. So my aunt fainted, and then she never woke up. And then, like a couple of hours after, we heard that, like, my nephew was gunned down, on the job.
Wow.
So it was like, it was overbearing to me, because I was like, why people just can't, live in love and harmony, because life would be such a better thing if we could, But what I started to do, I started to appreciate, the life that they spent with me. And,
right.
And everybody else who is a part of my circle, and, who that I know directly, indirectly, it doesn't matter. I see life as like currency, and one day it will run out. So how do I want to spend this currency, called time? So it's like, and that is why I said, don't ever go to bed upset. If there is a problem, let's solve it. Act like you know, but don't forget. Think you have time, but don't have it.
Yeah.
So for me, that song is, reminding me every day that you know, you have this thing called time that is a currency that can run out. So spend it, you know, wisely. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was
Big
the
tune, man. Are y'all hearing the music at all? Because I want to play, but my board is kind of messing up. Tell me if y'all can hear it.
We're not hearing it.
I never know. Looking back on our laughs would make you cry.
Yeah, man. No, not yet.
All right, I tried. I'll get a new cable. I'll get a new cable.
No man no rough, no man no tough, no man no better than no man. For every man in a Jamaica it's just a simple man. And if you up for America use a simple man, you could have fire 16 or you fire M1. You go step a ninja finger, a step a Shabba hand, a step in a him head and this number one them ball boom 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 out of the genre and first.
Okay, let's get into albums now, right? Because I thought you had 2 albums. So do you have 2 or is this the first one?
No, this is the first one.
Okay, so in the bio they sent me, even though your manager said it needs to be updated, you was going to call the album Rebirth at first?
Yeah, I was gonna call it Rebirth, you know, but that because you know I was associated with some things like, you know, gospel and things like these.
Right.
You know, which was in from the get-go that was not the case. But you know, people like to associate and like to group.
Exactly.
That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. But just to make Jah Lil is clear, you know, that was supposed to be the name, the like the rebirth, in terms of like how even people view me. So the social commentary, the type of music, whatever.
Right.
But you know, I had a conversation and I was like, you know, I can remember clearly like out there, the label that signed me.
Yeah.
Was like, you can't, like, if you look on the songs, like, that we chose, most of the songs were along the line of a man expressing himself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, Weak Man, Can a Man Cry, Above Water. So, it was like, all of the songs were, you know, along that line. And he was like, why not name it Can a Man Cry? And, you know, it came to me like, yo, like, to be honest, is the perfect name because all of the songs that I did at home, Currency Call Time, Rebirth, all of the songs that you can think about is me accepting vulnerability.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and me being vulnerable in lyrics and, you know, sharing it and sharing that. So I was like, yeah, it's a perfect name, and I think, you know, we should go with the name, and that's how, you know, we went with it.
And the way how you explained it make perfect sense.
Yeah, man.
It's a good call.
Yeah, it's a great call. Uncle L, go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So we can talk about a song that recently came out. It's not on the album, but End of War.
Big tune.
Yeah, produced by Fat Babs is the name.
Yeah, man, Fat Babs.
Yeah, talk about how that collaboration came out first of all, and then the song itself.
Yeah, so I have to big up them again, you know what I mean, because, you know, they reached out to me and, you know, they was very interested, you know, to do some work, because I like the material, you know, what he said to me was like, in terms of lyrical content, like, it's really something that he's interested in. So he sent me a couple rhythms. And the first thing that came to my mind when I heard the rhythm was End of War.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's how I write as well. Like, sometimes the instrumental speak to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, yeah, if the instrumental never tell me this, I cannot sing it.
Right.
So when I heard it, the first 4 bars, I heard End of War. So I was like, you know, I have to do a little bit reading, and yeah, we know the crime and violence in Jamaica already, but this is not just a Jamaica thing. I'm thinking about a worldwide thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that is when I was doing a little bit of research, and you know, the Israel and Palestine thing, and the Russia thing, and you know, I was just deep diving, you know, in everything, and I was like, oh, could I do a song that could almost be like a Bob Marley One Love, because I really love that song. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then End of War, you know, came to me, and then the second line came to me. No, only a dead man has seen the end of war. That line came to me
Mm-hmm.
when what was it? When I saw like a drone strike and a building somewhere in
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like when will they see the end of that? And what came to me was only a dead man will see that.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
honestly, that's the line that sticks with me in that song.
yeah.
Because you're right. I mean, it comes back to the cycle that you kind of talked about, where you know people going through stuff, and these things keep happening. I mean, Israel and Palestine have this conflict for years,
Yeah.
decades, centuries, all this kind of stuff, and just to kind of like, when will it end?
Yeah.
When you're dead, that's the only time you will see it, and
Exactly.
that's
And you see, once
that's
as
a powerful.
once as man, have a heart and free will, and you'll have negative and low vibrational frequencies. So you have anger, you have hatred,
Right.
because what people don't understand, is the both frequencies, it you need it for life. So you need
Right.
high vibrational and low vibrational. So you can't know love without hate. You
Right.
can't know peace without war. So it's like this will forever happen. It's not gonna stop happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So with knowing that, my wishful thinking was I would want that privilege as a man that is alive, where I can see the end of war. You know?
Right.
So
It'll
yeah,
be a
man,
good day.
it
Yeah, that will be a good day if it could happen.
man, if it could, but it won't. But
Yeah.
But
yeah.
but the, what I appreciate and I commend you for is that you're talking about these things.
Right.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Because
Yeah, for sure. And
when you
and
think
that is
about,
what.
oh, yeah, go ahead,
No, you
go ahead.
can go. You can go. You can
No,
go.
I was just gonna say, because I mean, to be honest, who was the last reggae artist that was singing about war?
Bob Marley.
Tasha
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Marley,
Yeah.
Dennis
yeah.
Brown, talking about revolution. People aren't talking about that stuff anymore, but it's still
Yeah.
happening. And I
Yeah,
think
no, for sure.
that's what's
And
making music. That's what I think is gonna make your music, really kind of connect with people, because you're taking the time to talk about things that others aren't. So
Yeah. Man.
And and I mean, reggae music supposed to be about social commentary, right?
Right.
Because Baba's been doing it, and if that's the foundation, then me just can't see myself astray from the foundation. So I definitely have to, do what they did, but in my interpretation and my identity.
It's a good interpretation, though, bro. It's
Yeah, man, respect, man.
you know what I mean. Literally, once you listen to one Jah Lil song and you go search for another one, you're like, damn. So what I do now, like I said in the gym, I'll just put on Apple Music and put in Jah Lil and just work out to it. You know what I'm saying? So you help me work out, bro.
Respect, man.
Hey, let's go to
Respect.
influences now, right? Because I kind of smirked in a playful way. You know what I mean? Because of course you see Bob Marley, you see Burning Spear. Who else? Garnet Silk, which we understand. Then there's Michael Jackson and Anita Baker. So I'm like, how did Michael Jackson influence you in what ways?
Oh yeah, it cut out just now, Like
Oh, okay. So you couldn't hear me. No, I was speaking of
I
your
think the network was bad.
Okay,
Yeah.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, man, I can hear now. Yeah,
Okay, so I was speaking of your influencers, right? So you have Bob Marley, Burning Spear, Garnet Silk, and then you have Michael Jackson and Anita Baker, right? So from we understand Bob Marley, Burning Spear, Garnet Silk. For some reason, I don't know why I thought you would have said Egyptian too. Maybe because I'm familiarized a little Egyptian sound or something like that. You know what I mean? Right? But
the little high note, the
yeah,
soprano.
yeah. Okay, na na na
yeah.
na na na. You know what I mean? But Michael Jackson and Anita Baker, what did you take from them? Was it work ethic? Was it songwriting? Like,
All right, like to be honest, like I'm a person. I can't have like one favorite, right?
Right.
Like even my garden
right,
at home, you'll find you have yellow plants, purple, green, orange, to make a complete thing.
right,
So for me, in order to have a full course meal, I had to hop outside the reggae as well.
yeah,
You know? Michael Jackson, for the fact that he was undeniably talented,
Right.
like musically, and the messages that he did, and the international impact that he had. Yeah, so that is something that I want to have, not for fame, but I want to have that so I can get this type of message out there.
Right.
So that is the only reason why I want that. I think that Michael Jackson was a real human being.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like the songs that came out and how he delivered
Right.
it.
Heal the world.
So, yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. You know, things like these,
Yeah.
you know, social commentary.
Yeah.
For Anita Baker, the fact that her voice was distinctive and individual, and I've never heard somebody like Anita Baker before.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, like I could fall asleep listening to her. I don't know, like do anything that I need to do throughout the day, like driving, like doing chores, anything, listening to Anita Baker. Like I really love her voice.
Nah,
So-
I agree with
so
you
for
on that
that-
one. Yeah.
Yeah, so for those two reasons, I went internationally to on the side of like Michael Jackson and Anita Baker, because I'm striving for individuality as well.
Right.
You know, I want to be so individual that when you hear me, you know that's Jah Lil.
I think you're there.
Yeah.
I can just hear your voice, and I'm like, okay, that's Jah Lil. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. So if you're striving for that, you're there already.
man.
it
And
just-
then
No, go ahead.
just
Sorry.
and then the impact now for my MJ. But you already know the things for Burning Spear. Burning Spear is the same thing too. Once you hear Burning Spear, you know
Yeah.
that's Burning Spear.
Yeah.
So if you realize the people that that I look up to, they are individuals. Like they're like you're not hearing nobody like them.
Right.
Those are the people that I really look up to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Marley, you know already.
You know already. You're like, I guess you don't know. You don't know.
Yeah, man. There's no argument around that.
So on the album, I realized it's not a lot of Well, actually, I didn't see any collaborations unless they didn't list it. You know what I mean? But it's pretty much just you. Is there a reason for that? And are there some people that you want to collaborate with in the future? And who would be like your choice to pick? Like if you had a wish list of, let's say, about 5 people, right, that you can definitely collaborate with. So that's one part of the first part of the question is, how come you didn't have a lot of collaborations on this album? The second part is, who would you like to collaborate with in the future?
All right. So when the label signed me and they were like, we need an album, they asked me to deliver them some songs, right?
Right.
When they heard the songs, they never hear where it was fitting for nobody. To be honest, they were and they were like, it's not a selfish thing or anything like this. It's more like, as I say, it was supposed to be a rebirth. So
Right.
being a rebirth was a personal thing,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
And most of the lyrics, as you can tell, it's personal. Can a Man Cry was at a point in my life. Sorry, you hear
Very
me?
good. Yeah, we hear. you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was at a point in my life where I was going through a lot of things. I was ill, I had family that was sick. My relationship was poor, like we were on the brink of breaking up. Financially, I was at the lowest.
Right.
So everything was happening to me at that point in time. And I was like, me going through all of this, can I really cry? Would you accept me crying, or would you see it as weakness?
Right.
You know what I mean? Could I be vulnerable at a point in my life like this? And I never felt I could, And I was like, yo, men all over the world is going through this. I am sure.
Right.
So it was so personal a message to me, in which I didn't think having a collaboration would do it any justice, to be honest.
And let me just
You know,
say this,
because-
right? You don't need any collaborations, which is a question I had. But I'm not saying you
Yeah.
needed none.
No, man, I know. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying you said that. Yeah. I'm not saying, but for the listener, or for the people that is gonna watch,
Right.
they might wonder,
Exactly.
But it's simply because it was just a personal thing. This project.
Nice.
In terms of collaborating in the future,
Right.
for sure, there are a couple names that I would definitely, collaborate with. One of them being still Chronixx,
Yeah.
You know, because I think how we write as well, I think is cohesive to, you know, what like how I write or what I
Right.
do. You know, Martima for sure.
Bob.
Yeah, man. Protoje for sure. Lila is Lila my sister. You know, Lila my sister. Lila was one of the, you know, artists that was rooting for me for a long time. You know, before she even bust. You know what I mean? So
Right.
Lila my sister, and I'm really, you know, she's a really good person. And once that she rate, you gotta know this.
Right.
You know, so definitely Lila. There are a couple other people, man. Like even in dancehall,
Right.
may I try to do some collaboration with some dancehall artists. You know what I mean? Just get them over there.
I think that'll be a good thing.
You
I
know,
think that'll be a great thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get them over the positive side.
Yeah.
You know, so there can be a balance. So we can strike a balance. Because what I had when I was a child, you know, even though you have some lyrics that talk about gun thing and violence and all them something there.
Right.
Me used to have the balance. I used to hear Jack here. I used to hear Buju.
Right.
I hear, you know, some artists that bring the positive.
Right.
So I think what is the issue these days in the music is that the children them don't really have the balance anymore.
No, man. It's
You
all
get
it's
me?
one sided.
Them only hear the negative. Yeah. And that is why society look like how it looks, because there's no balance. So this is one of the things that I'm aiming to do, you know what I mean? Like I really want to do this thing to bring the balance. And Martima them a do it, and Protoje and Lila them a do it. So it's like me, you know, add an extra pound on the slave and the scale, sorry.
Right.
You know, so we can strike the balance. Yeah, because that's what I want ultimately. Because as I say, you can't get rid of the negative. If you get rid of the negative, you get rid of life. Because life is bicameral, good and bad, up and down, left and right. Yeah, so you can't get rid of it. So it's just to strike that balance, you know?
Nice. Uncle L, you have any more questions before we close out?
Yeah. So obviously there's another song that you released recently that we've been playing a lot. Whole Corner.
Na.
And before you talk about Whole Corner, actually, as that little ad lib, that na, you know, how you came up with that, because it's become distinctive for your style.
Yeah, it just
so
sounds like
for
feeling,
your
right?
sound.
Right, yeah.
So
Yeah, respect.
yeah, how'd you come up with that? Did somebody just kind of be like, hey, maybe you should do this, you know? But how did you?
Yeah, no, to be honest, when Kabaka sent me the rhythm, I did like 6 courses. And I was like, bro, choose from them.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and this was the one that he chose. And another song, which we're going to put it in another rhythm. It's called Children of the Moon. Children of the Moon.
Okay.
But for the style of how I did the Kana Nana, I was like, how can I make something in the hook unforgettable? Once as you hear it, you can't unhear it. And it will be distinctive, like, and it's a wow factor. So that is what I thought of. And when they try some 1 and 2 things, they never work until I tried that and it worked. Yeah, man. So that's like for me in my music, in which I try for always either say something in a line or do something with the melody or do a stutter that once as you hear it, you can't unhear it.
Yeah.
You know, I always try for this. Yeah, man.
Yeah. It's like Expensive Tears when it starts. I hear it in my head all the time. My tears are too expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not doing it justice, but you know, it's just the
No,
style.
man, I
of-
did just this one. Yeah, man, I did just this one.
Every song have a style, but you're like, yo, that's Jah Lil. I can be riding
Yeah,
down the
man.
street and somebody's playing a Jah Lil record, and I'll probably roll down and be like, yo, Jah Lil, man, you're cool, dude. You're all right, man. You're
Yeah,
playing
man.
Jah Lil,
Respect,
you
man.
know?
Respect.
Yeah, most
So, you know, I
definitely,
try
man.
for that. Like, as I say, either a line in the song where when I hear that line, it was like, yo, I never heard that line before. But I don't feel comfortable like doing a song without a couple of lines that can be quotes.
Right.
Yes, I'm always try for that. Like in every song you can think about, every single one.
Right. Hey, a question just popped in my head, right? Before we let you go. How do you personally feel about where you at in reggae music? unexpectedly? Like how do you feel like, okay, you know what, I'm on my way? Because sometimes when an artist is so good, the rest of us kind of make up our day all right. And sometimes that artist is so good because they're not all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, how do you feel like your progression now? Are you feeling like, okay, you know what? Finally, I'm getting my props. Because from our perspective, man, you should be way bigger. But of course, it's life. We understand life, right? And just because a person is talented, don't mean that they'll make it. So from your personal
Exactly.
perspective, how do you feel about where you're at?
All right. To be honest, I try not to. I try not to be negative, about it.
Right.
It has been some journey, but the thing about it is, and you're gonna hear it in a song to come, because I have a song called Chadalang.
Right.
I'm supposed to be doing it with Romy and Virgo.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, man. In the song I said that my journey is my destination. So Chadalang. So it doesn't matter like where I'm at, but I'm moving.
Right.
I would like to be in a better place in terms of like where I'm at in the journey, like a couple miles ahead. Where I'm at is where I need to be.
Right.
Yeah. So if I don't look at it like that, I'm gonna be bitter. I'm gonna be like why? Because I'm talented and people appreciate me. Why not yet?
Right.
But everything is in perfect timing, and I think it will happen when it needs to happen.
Yeah.
And I think right now where I'm at, there are a lot of ground was made, and I must give thanks and out the records for this, because I think that was one of the things that I never had. I never had a team.
Right, bro.
Yeah.
That is so. People don't realize how important that is.
And
You know what I'm
that is
saying?
very important.
That is almost like the key, like the golden key, almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man,
Because
it's important.
and then when you're so talented too, you just want to be the talent and make your music and make sure your music is what you want your music to be, right? The
Exactly.
expression of yourself. And then to have this team that feels like you, and this is important too, that feels like you feel, and sometimes even more so than you, about your music, and they're excited about it, and they want to get you out there. They want people to
Man,
hear it.
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm blessed, and I'm in a wonderful space. It could have happened earlier,
Right.
but it happened now, and I am grateful for that, because, as I said, like with this team, I went on a tour, and an individual tour, like I did a couple shows. I made people cry. I was rushed backstage. All of these things would have never happened if I wasn't surrounded. I was not surrounded with
Right.
a wonderful team. So I really have to big them up all the time, because they see the vision as well, and they really believe that reggae is gonna be the forefront again, and I can be somebody that can contribute to that largely. So I really appreciate them.
Yeah, I agree with them, and big up to Out There Records. You know what I mean? Yeah, nothing but love. Did we miss anything? For in the precursor to that question, did we miss anything? Is give out your information, how people can get in touch with you, spell it out. You know what I mean? Of course, when we post the interview, we'll put that information out there also. But from your voice, just tell them how to get in touch with you, and if we miss anything, help
Yeah,
us
and
out
if you
on
have
that too.
anything, like what's next, what's coming? You obviously mentioned the song with Rumi and Virgo. That's something I'm gonna look out for. But
Yeah.
anything else?
Yeah, man. So we're looking to do a EP in March, I think April, and this EP is just to represent like where I'm from. And as I said before, I'm trying to get some of the dancehall acts, on this positive vibration.
Right.
So what I'm doing, I'm gonna do like a 3-track EP with some dancehall music, but I'm being reggae on the dancehall music.
Nice.
So that's the first thing, and then after that, back to the reggae. I'm gonna release an album again, and I'm thinking about doing an album every year. So that is the aim. I have a lot of collaborations this time around, that people are gonna be, flabbergasted by because
I ain't
even
heard
the
that word in a
names,
long time. Flabbergasted.
yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, like people are gonna really love this because it's gonna show how versatile I am too.
Right.
So it's I'm just happy that I can, represent reggae music and Jamaican music, in the way that I'm gonna be able to do it. And just, put some talent out there because one of the things I've been hearing is that no talented artists not there Jamaica, I've been hearing that and that's not true. It's just that, the talented ones, they're not at the forefront. And
Right.
what I'm going to do, as soon as I get that forefront as well, I'm going to share that platform with everybody that is talented because
That's what's up, man.
this cake is for, I'm not even office a cake. I don't know which other thing we can use because I don't really eat sugars and them things.
Yeah, me
But
neither.
yeah. This melon.
Yeah,
watermelon.
yeah. You're gonna share slices with everybody. Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Everybody can get a slice and it can be beneficial to them. You get me? I don't want it to be a case where everybody feel like say I am the man and me alone have the whole watermelon
Right.
and nobody else should get a slice.
Right.
No.
Right.
They may get diabetes.
Yeah,
I don't
for
want
real.
that.
For real.
You get me? So
Yeah, man.
it's about sharing, getting the music out there, together, I guess, togetherness and movement, because as I say, we want to strike this balance. It is important, it is imperative, and, we need to come together and work together so we can,
Yeah, man.
balance the scale because there's coming a time where things are get really serious and drastic and we're going to need positive music to teach us how to live in order to survive in this time.
Yes.
And the only way we can do it is and deliver this message is if we do it together.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I am ready for this thing because I see the signs. I mean, a lot of other people see the signs. So like I always see the signs, we need to get that message out there. So me even charge the artists as well, not just my sense, but myself. I charge the other artists. I can write about these things, teach people because this time is about education now.
Right.
And education, edutainment, I should
Right.
say. So we still entertain, good movement, the bass and all that, something that nice music to hear, but teaching as well because there is coming a time where we are gonna need instruction, and the only instruction we can, get that makes sense is from the music, because even the books them are tamper with. So
Of course.
we're gonna need this. Yeah, we're gonna need this thing.
Of course.
Yeah. So that's my final words. But I say, if you want to follow me at JAHLILMUSICJA.
Wait, say it one more time because you
you know what I mean?
you kind of cut out.
Would I
for,
really appreciate that.
Can you hear me? You kind of cut out.
Oh,
So
cut
say
out a bit.
Say the social media again one more time.
So it's at Jah Lil Music JA. So
Okay.
at JAHLILMUSICJA. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok, even though it's gonna take long in a couple of days.
We were just talking about
But
that.
everywhere. Everywhere. And just make share this vibe and this energy and make do this together, you know what I mean? Because it is not a Jah Lil thing. It is not a Martima thing. It is not a Protoje thing. It's a everybody thing.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so we just, it's a Supa thing. It's a DJ Uncle. It's a everybody thing. So make we, treat it and share it like it's our thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well said, my brother. Hey, man, we appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And we family.
Yeah,
now.
man. Respect to the time.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Trust me, for sure.
Any music you have, send it our
I'm
way.
sorry. I'm very sorry. Say, I kind of come down with a little call and thing because even some singing I should be doing. You know what I mean? But that's one of them things there. There'll be another time.
Yeah, most
You know what I mean?
definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, man.
All right, thank you, my
So
brother.
thank you so
Nothing but
much.
love.
Yeah, man. Not but love, man.
Come on, respect.
Yeah, man.